Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Board Masters with me, Chris Mullins, and tonight we are back once again, not with the Renegade Master, but with the Lord of the Rings card game and specifically the Return to Mirkwood cycle, which is one that I didn't really expect to be revisiting because I thought that I'd actually beaten the scenario last week, albeit with some taking advantage of some ambiguous wording at the end last. But going through the editing, I found out that I actually perished halfway through, and so another playthrough is much required. And hopefully I can get Gollum through the forest today without him causing me too much mischief, but we shall see. So one thing I will mention with my tactic and lore deck, I have made a slight change in that I've subbed out Gimli for Tharlin, largely because the Mirkwood bats caused an awful lot of trouble for me last week, and their ability to damage every character that's, I think, guarding Gollum is really debilitating. So I'm hoping with Tharlin then I can kill it off, and then it won't have the surge either. So much as we did with the Eastern Crows, hopefully it will help me negate a lot of the damage before it happens. It does, though, put a lot more pressure on Legolas to be my damage dealer without Gimli there to back him up. So I'll have to hopefully get some allies in there. And now with all that being said, let's dive into 1A, Through the Forest. Having captured Gollum, you must now escort him through Mirkwood Forest for interrogation at Thranduil's palace. Search the encounter deck for Gollum, choose a player to guard Gollum at the start of the game, and place Gollum in front of that player. So we have Gollum here. I'm going to have him guarded by the Tactics and Lore deck because that substitution I mentioned already in terms of Tharlin for Gimli has lowered my starting threat by 2. And because this is my main defending deck, I want this deck to be the one that's engaging the enemies, not the leadership and spirit. So then reveal 1 card per player from the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. Okay, so we have the Spider's Ring, and when I travel there and it's the active location, the player guarding Gollum cannot change. And we have the Wood Elf Path. After the players travel to Wood Elf Path, the player guarding Gollum may choose a new player to guard him. Okay, so we have a starting threat of 4 up there. So let's look at 1B. Mirkwood is always a dangerous place, but it is even worse with Gollum. Between the outbursts, tantrums, and the flying provisions, you are not afforded a moment's peace. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at Gollum. So damage from any undefended attacks must be dealt to Gollum, as opposed to normally against a hero. If Gollum is destroyed, or if the player guarding Gollum is eliminated, the players have lost the game. And at the end of each round, raise the threat of the player guarding Gollum by 3. So that's on top of the normal ones, that's actually 4. Then that player may choose a new player to guard Gollum. So threat is definitely going to be escalating quickly through this game. But that is the setup. We're all ready to go. I've got my opening hands. Let's jump in. Okay. So I think I'm going to be saving my cards over here. I was tempted to get a Spearman out, but with there being no enemies there initially, I think I'm going to try and save up for the Citadel Plate so I can get that on Denethor as soon as I can, because then he'll be able to absorb hits from the powerful enemies in this deck, such as the Hill Trolls and Ungoliant Spawn. So over to Spirit and Leadership. So I think I'll straight away go with Favour of the Lady, which is a card I've used a lot. You attach it to the hero and that hero gains +1 willpower. So I'll put that straight on Eowyn. So she is now questing for 5. And part of me wants to put a Dundane Warning on Denethor, but if I'm going to get a Citadel Plate on him next, that would probably be largely redundant. So I might save my leadership token and go straight into the questing. So Tharlin, because that's why he's here. He can quest and negate the bats. Aragorn and Eowyn, so that's going to be 8 against the starting dread of 4. Dry Watercourse. While Dry Watercourse is the active location, all treachery card effects that target the player guarding Gollum also target each other player. Okay. And another Wood Elf Path. Okay, so we've got 4, 6, 7 up against 5, 7, 8. So we've got 3 progress tokens on there. And I think I'm going to go to the Spider's Ring because it's the highest dread. It's 3 up there. And I'm not going to want to pass Gollum over this time anyway. And that's the end of the round. So that's going to take Tactics and Law straight up to 30. Which is a big jump. First player token moves across. 2, 3. 3. Okay. So let's play Campfire Tales for 1 leadership, which enables both players to draw an extra card. And Faramir. Faramir could come in handy. But other than that, there's not much else I want to do on this side. So yes, let's get the Citadel plate onto Denethor now. So he now has a defense, or where he has a defense of 3, but his hit points are now 7. And I think that's going to be it on this side as well. So straight back into questing. So Tharlin, Aragorn and Eowyn again. So that's going to be 8 against 4. Okay, Wasted Provisions. So this is one of Gollum's tantrums that they mentioned in the quest card. Discard the top 10 cards from the deck of the player guarding Gollum. That player must choose a new player to guard Gollum if able. I think I'm going to exhaust Eleanor to cancel that and draw another card to replace it. Mountains of Mirkwood. So to travel there, I need to add an extra card to the encounter deck. And then Attercop. I really didn't want this to come out this early. So at the beginning of the encounter phase, Attercop automatically engages the player guarding Gollum regardless of his threat. So that's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 against 8. So we're even there. But I can discard cards to boost Eowyn. I think I'm going to discard the West Road Traveller, which allows me to switch the active location, which I don't think is going to be particularly useful at this. Oh, no, don't draw a card. What am I doing? Discard a card. I'm going to discard the Protector of Lorien, just because, I don't know, I don't find it particularly useful. So that's going to add 2 willpower. So that gives me 10 against 8, which does then clear the Spider's Ring. And then I can travel again. And I think I'm going to travel to the Dry Watercourse. And then the encounter phase, Attercop is going to come down and engage. It's got 8 attack. So that's going to hurt. Choose an enemy engaged with a player, return that enemy to the staging area. Yeah, I think I might play that now. I might play the Alone in the Dark. 2 spirit tokens. So choose an enemy engaged with a player, return that enemy to the staging area. So let's get rid of that. And he's going to move back up there. And that's the end of another round. Do I want to pass Gollum over at this point? I think I will. Although Atticop's going to engage. But I do have another Alone in the Dark. And a Forest Snare. No, let's keep it as it is at the moment. Okay. So let's get a Spearman out now. And then he can be the initial fodder for the Atticop, and then I can potentially Forest Snare it. Okay, oh perfect, the Steward of Gondor. I think I'm going to attach that to Denethor, because there is a lot of high value lore cards in here that I want to be able to use. And I'll exhaust that straight away to give him another 2. And I'll save the spirit tokens. Right, so questing Tharlin, Aragorn, Eowyn. So we've got 2, 4, 6 up there. And we're going up against 8 against 6. The East Bite, so 8 against 7. When faced with the option to travel, the players must travel to the East Bite. 8 against 9, a Woodman's Glade. So the player guarding Gollum must exhaust the hero he controls to travel to Woodman's Glade. After exploring Woodman's Glade, reduce the threat of each player not guarding Gollum by 2. So I lost that by 1. Do I want to discard a card to even it up? I feel like I should. I might get rid of Elfheim. Again, this card I haven't used yet, so maybe I'm not appreciating how useful he is. But again, that levels it up. And then, so nowhere to travel, engaging, Atticop again is going to come down here. In terms of defending, Spearman. Get rid of that, no shadow effect. Spearman is dead. Legolas I don't have enough attack to even damage it, so there's no point. So that's the end of another round. 38 to 31, and this time I definitely will be passing Gollum across. And I'll exhaust Steward of Gondor straight away. So Denethor is quickly becoming a bit of a token powerhouse over there. I think I want to start saving up over here. Do I want to put a Dundane warning on? I'm going to put a warning on Denethor as well. So he now has 4 defense and 7 hit points. And that'll be it for that side. Quick strike. Okay, so no good at this point. But I am going to play my Forest Snare. 1, 2, 3. And use it to trap Atticop. So he now cannot do anything. Well, he can be attacked, but he can't attack me. And I think I'm also going to get in Haldir of Lorien for 4. And he's ranged and sentinel, so that's very useful indeed. And I'll save the rest. Right, so questing. Thalin, Aragon, Eowyn. What have we got up there? We've got 1, 2, 4, 5, 7. Let's quest Haldir as well. So that will give me 7 against 10. Yeah, okay. 7 against 10. King Spider. Each player must choose and exhaust one player he controls. 9 against 10. 10 against 10. Another Wood Elf Path. Alright, so I feel like I need to discard something just to clear that location. Alright, let's get rid of Grim Resolve. It's a good card, but it's going to be forever before I can get 5 leadership tokens. I think I'm going to get rid of Gildor's Council as well. So that gives me the 2 progress tokens I need to clear that. Then I have to travel to the East Bight. And then the King Spider, I am going to optionally engage over here and declare Denethor as my defender. No shadow effect, so 3 attack against 4 damage is nothing, and that's the end of another turn. 39, 35, and again I won't be swapping Golem. I shall exhaust the Steward of Gondor. Okay, I definitely need something to help me with my questing right now. Right, let's put another Gondorian Spearman in and a Daughter of Nimrodel. Another Steward of Gondor. Unfortunately, I cannot play it. Okay. So questing again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. So let's have Haldir, Thalin, and the Daughter of the Nimrodel again. Aragon, Eowyn. 5, 7, 8, 9, 11. 11 against 7. The Wargs, so 11 against 9. And the Hammerhorns, 11 against 10. So I gained 1. And then, right, engaging the Wargs. Can engage over here. And the Hammerhorns are not going to engage yet. Okay. So King Spider. Defending against him can be Denethor. No shadow effect, so no damage. And defending against the Wargs is going to be Eleanor. Shadow effect, Wolfrider attacks the defending player. That player may declare 1 character as a defender. Deal Wolfrider its own shadow card. Okay. But in terms of the Warg's attack, it did 3 damage against 2 defense, so it did 1 damage to Eleanor. but it stays there because it did get a shadow effect, so it doesn't return to the top. And the Wolf Rider defending, I'm going to have the Gondorian Spearman defend against it. So that's going to do kill the Spearman. Now, attacking wise, I only have Legolas. I can't kill the Spider, I can't kill the Wargs, but I can kill the Wolf Rider. So let's do that. Because then that at least is going to get me a couple more progress tokens. And that's the end of another turn. And this is going very, very badly indeed. Because those hammer horns are going to engage next. And I just have not been able to get any questing going. I really, really need a tracker. Right, resource tokens. Obviously exhausted Steward of Gondor. Okay, so let's play Campfire Tales again, which gives both players another card. Dundane Cash, that's not too helpful. Okay, straight over here. Well, Burning Brand is very useful, but I don't really need two of them. Well, let's put a Burning Brand on Denethor, so now he's immune to shadow effects. And leave it there, I guess. So, questing, Tharlin, Haldir. Might just have to take the hit and just make sure I get 2 progress tokens. What have we got up there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. Eowyn is definitely going to quest for 5. Aragon for 7, make it 7. Tharlin 8. So 8 against 8. Let's put Haldir in. Oh, am I? Oh, I need a defender. Right, now I'm going to have to leave it 8 against 8. Okay, 8 against 10. Wargs again. 8 against 12. I think this is going to be ending very, very quickly. Okay. So, engagement. Hammer horns. I'm going to attack here. Now I'm going to optionally engage it over here and deal 5 damage to Denethor because he's got the Citadel Plate. So he can actually survive that. And then the Wargs are going to have to engage over here. And I just do not fancy my chances here. Right. So let's pay a resource to ready Aragon. So Eleanor defend against one of them again. No shadow effect, so it's going to do 1 damage. And then he's going to retreat back. And leave the other one undefended. No shadow effect, so that's going to do 3 damage on Gollum. Denethor. Right, let's have a look at this. Now, let's play Quick Strike so I can exhaust the character to declare them as an attacker. I'll exhaust Legolas to declare him as an attacker and kill the Hammerhorn. Give me another 2 progress tokens. Denethor then to defend against the King Spider. No shadow effect, so no damage. That warg should have retreated as well, didn't it? Because I have no shadow effect on that. And then Haldir can do a damage on that. I'm going to have to pass Gollum over. And I'll exhaust the daughter before the end of that round to heal Eleanor. One, two. Can take a miracle from here. Although I do have Gandalf. Right. So let's put Gandalf into play for 5. He's going to then lower my threat by 5, or do I want him to kill something? I think I'm going to have it lower the threat. And I will then attach Born Aloft to him for free. That isn't what I was hoping for. So again, nothing over here I can use at all. Right, so what have we got in the question? Oh, I needed to deal a damage to... Each player deals 1 point of damage to a character. I'm going to put it on Thalin and Aragon. Right, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. Amazing. Alright, so Thalin. These should all have a point of damage on it for when they've come out, shouldn't they? Thalin, Gandalf, so that's 5. Eowyn 10, Aragon 12. Yeah, I think it's over already because I just can't clear this. King Spider, Atticop. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's call it there. That was a very quick and painful loss to return to Mirkwood. I just didn't get any of the spirit cards I want. I don't know where they were hiding. None of my trackers, none of my Galadrin's greetings. All at the bottom. Very painful, very ugly defeat. So I'm going to work on my decks a bit and see you again next week for the 3rd and probably final time. And then I'll move on and just do the review, because I've got lots of games coming up that I want to feature instead going forward. So please join me for that, and hopefully I will actually get to end on a victory. So thank you very much for watching. Look after yourself, stay safe, and have a good one. Thank you. Bye-bye now.